She did Raven dirty.
Who did
Multiple
she
times.
mush to the floor?
That was Raven.
That
She
was
grabbed
Raven?
her by
Oh,
the neck
yeah,
and then she still embarrassed her even at the reunion, like even after
foot?
season. Yes, had her sucking her toes. Like, bye.
She had her fucking...
Bye. Like, you really you done the same shit because you are also obsessed with power and control, right?
Yes, exactly.
This the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, this the kind of beat to go, rock, top, top.
Welcome back to another episode of the Petty Headquarters. I'm your host, Tiana Locke, and this is
Jesse Strange.
And we are back at it again with another episode, y'all. And this time we are going to be covering Joseline Hernandez and her serious allegations made about Zeus Network, aka Lemmy Plummer, the CEO of Zeus Network. All right, so we are going to get into that. If you guys are new, welcome back to the Petty Headquarters. We are a pop culture podcast talking about reality TV, pop culture, and celebrity drama, right? And most of you come back here for baddies. So with that being said, welcome to the Petty Posse. And for those returning, welcome back. So, God, without further ado, let's just dive into this week's dose of mess.
That was a nice intro.
It was a great intro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Nice and sweet and smooth. So let's just start off with what we know, right?
Yeah. So Joseline recently came out and it was a big shocker, right? Mm-hmm. She came out with allegations against Lemmy Plummer, the CEO of Zeus Network, and saying all types of crazy shit. She was saying stuff like, you know, Lemmy abuses Scotty and Janisha. There was a dead body that appeared at the Zeus headquarters. She also said that Lemmy sleeps with cabaret girls, like a bunch of allegations.
Right.
And it got messy because they went back and forth online.
Yeah. And so to add to that, Joseline also mentioned that Janisha had reported Lemmy to the FBI.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even
which
hear
is
that.
really wild. Even said that he attempted to have her killed in Miami. You know, and she goes on in this video, which we're going to play here. For those that are listening, you're going to hear it. For those that are watching, you are going to see it. So let's get into it.
You harassed Janisha, Scotty. How many times have you beat up Janisha? How many times have you beat up Scotty? How many times have you beat up those baddies? At my old age, you're gonna get somebody to kill me and my baby? Bitch, that's what you want to do to me? After all the years that I gave you, after all the secrets that I kept because you make a threat every fucking time, after all the secrets I kept from you and that fucking network for years, I kept all your dirty secrets from Ashley and all the producers, making girls fight each other. Making people hit people with bottles and make people bleed and cut each other. After all the secrets I kept because of your fucking threats, one morning you wake up and you're gonna cut my checks that I'm supposed to be getting in perpetuity because you claim I'm a direct competitor to you? Are you fucking kidding me? Let me little on me? Little old me, bitch. I've been on TV my whole life making all these networks wealthy. I made VH1, Viacom, BT, everybody wealthy. Zeus Network wealthy. As soon as I want to make myself wealthy and do something for my kids. Now I'm deformation of your character. Your character ain't nothing. Your character is nobody believes your character. You pay people to get beat up, so you're going to get people to shoot me up in Miami. I'm on my way to the police station to make a report on you because if I come up dead, you're going to jail. You're going to put out a hit out on the woman that started your company, the woman that make your company be legitimate. 7 years, I worked hard to get you to be where you at. And I'm belly. Look at my belly. They found a dead body in Zeus Network office. We ain't hear nothing about that. What happened to that boy that died outside of your network? What happened to that boy? What happened to that body that they found outside of your network? What happened to him? Why we don't hear about that? All your producers, they have no character. And for Janisha, after all the times you beat her up, is still working up under you and haven't fucking contacted the FBI to tell them what you done to her. She's a fucking lunatic. And everybody else around is a fucking lunatic. And that's why I started Why You Here TV.
Okay. So that was a mouthful.
There's a lot to unpack in that one video.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to get into this.
Yeah.
So thank you for having the full video and sharing it.
Yes. So, of course, she also took to Twitter and now those are deleted. I can't find them because she made her Twitter account private.
Yeah, I think I have it here.
Okay, because I remember you sent them to me, but I don't know if you sent screenshots because when I tried to find it again, I couldn't find it. So she went on there to also say, like, if I'm not alive or if I disappear, Lemmy did it. Wow, you have all of the screenshots.
Yeah, so we'll put the screenshots here, guys.
Yeah, we're not going to read all of that.
Just going to summarize basically in all caps, she's like freaking out about basically Lemmy putting a hit on her. You guys can take a screenshot, read them yourselves here, pause the video,
right?
If you must.
But to summarize that, she's basically saying the same things that you heard in that video of her in her car. And she is explaining that if I do disappear, you know who did it. It is the CEO of Zeus Network, Lemmy Plummer, right? Allegedly. All of these claims that she's making. So, of course, in Zeus fashion.
Hold on. We
want to talk about it first?
Yeah,
or do we want to talk about how everything panned out, then talk about it?
Okay.
Let's talk about it. Okay, so
Let's
we got
talk
that
about
one little moment because there's many moments.
There is a lot of back and forth.
So we're gonna in between talk our shit.
Yeah, because I have a lot to say in just this one video. So these were striking allegations.
Right.
These are like hardcore, but to be honest with you, it's not something we haven't heard already.
Right.
Which is like crazy to think because it's like, first of all, her calling them lunatics when she's been with them for that long.
Right.
Bitch, you're a lunatic. Like
right.
everything you're calling the producers and the production, girl, if you didn't stop getting payment, you would still be a part of that too.
100%.
100%. Which is why a lot of people were kind of side-eyeing Joseline when she came out with these allegations, because it's like, even though this isn't the first time we've heard it, even though we know there's going to be eventually, we always joke about it, surviving Zeus.
Right.
You wouldn't have came out to quote unquote do the right thing if you didn't stop getting paid.
No, it's true. And that's what puts me in a hard spot about this situation because, again, Joseline is not the first person to make these allegations and serious claims, right? You have people like Christina that was on Baddies ATL from the very beginning making these same claims about how, he was manipulative, controlling with her. She'd have to like offer sexual services in order to get what she wants, right? We hear this from Hi, My Name's T, where she talked about the situation with how she saw how Lemmy was treating Scotty and like basically trying to force him to not speak to her anymore.
Yeah.
That weird dynamic because he also wanted to sleep with T, right? Which she talks about it. We hear about Razor. Razor also slept with him, right? Just to be on the show. We heard about, who else talked about it? So many people talked about.
Stunner Girl came out.
Stunner Girl. How could I forget? That's the biggest one. Stunner Girl came out and talked about him.
Videos.
She had videos. She had receipts. Like, Natalie even alluded to things. Like, it's so funny how Natalie will never sit there and confirm anything, but she'll walk around it. She'll dance around it.
Yeah.
Which we saw that at the reunion, right?
Oh my God. There's just so much to talk about because I feel like literally the two opposites of what to do and what not to do when it comes to just unfortunately as women in media and women in the industry.
Yep.
It frustrates me, but in reality, most of the time the gatekeepers are men.
Right.
And this is what happens when you try to low-key bite the hand that feeds you, which is Joseline. And then Natalie is an example of her playing and dancing with the devil, basically,
Right.
for her
Playing
own
that
benefit.
game. Yeah.
Right.
Literally.
Because I really want to dive into what the word perpetuity means.
Mhm.
If you didn't know, in contracts, perpetuity means something is intended to last forever, which is a very rare thing to find in a contract, which means Joseline knew her worth from the beginning, right? So she basically tells us that she has perpetuity to the Joseline's cabaret. And in her contract, that means for as long as they stream her show, she will be collecting a portion of that money. And that is her show, despite it being on Zeus Network. She
Right.
owns part of that
Right.
forever.
Right.
However, those contracts, and this
Right.
is what Lemmy did,
Right.
he found a loophole.
100%.
And it's unfortunate that Joseline, I mean, I always thought it from the beginning.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to talk about that, because when we went to the Why Are You Here TV,
Mhm. The premiere. Yep,
of her
yep.
show, Dancing Freaks,
Yep.
that was honestly one of the first questions we were gonna ask her.
Right.
And then we just decided not to be messy because
Right.
we're trying to be a little bit more professional. But the
Right.
question was originally gonna be, one of the questions was, are you leaving Zeus? And that ended up being like a question that eventually she addressed.
Right.
And she was
Didn't she address it before, which is why we didn't ask her? Because she had went on the internet and said, no, me and Lemmy are fine.
just right
We're
before.
still- right before. So because we saw that, we were like, okay, we're not going to ask her that question because she already addressed it. And like, we don't want to do too much.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so first of all, like, I don't know, there's just so much to unpack, because you could tell that Joseline, right, had a really good contract, which to
Mhm.
any business owner, especially someone that does good business, shady business, but good business like Lemmy, is gonna try to find a loophole, especially when now she's becoming a competitor. And I always
Right,
thought that was
for
weird.
Sure.
I always thought that was weird.
Yep.
Like, Lemmy is still paying you and y'all are still cool, even though you
Yo, it's so funny because we really had these conversations
Yes.
off camera.
off camera.
We talked about this shit. So now when we see all of this whole big drama unfold, it's like, wow, here we are.
Yes.
We knew it had to be something. We
100%.
knew the story wasn't over. There's no way. From him also casting cabaret girls to be on Baddies, like that right there too was another indicator. Like, bro, what's going on here?
Yeah, because she, like, at some point, and we're gonna play the video right now, and then we'll like jump back to this.
Right.
But this is where she addresses the rumors surrounding her leaving Zeus Network,
Mhm.
etc.
I had a great communication this morning with one of the owners of Zeus. I'm not leaving Zeus Network. Never said that. Y'all need to stop saying that. I'm not going anywhere. My cabaret is there. We made history together, and I fuck with Zeus. They ain't never did nothing to me. That's my family. I'm gonna always go and do shit for Zeus. Whenever they need me to do anything for Zeus Network, I'm gonna be there. So y'all could kill all that nonsense, all the drama, kill all of that talk. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not having that type of conversation. We're family with Zeus Network. They doing their thing. We're doing our thing. The cabarets with them. So we fuck with each other. They family. That's my fan.
That did not age well.
No, it did not.
That did not age well.
But going back to what you said, right? Like, we were having these conversations behind closed doors, and then when we saw the cabaret girls, like, I was like, that's so weird. All
Mhm.
these years of Baddies. Yo, Wet's been trying to get on that show
For mad
forever.
long, yep.
Even what's her name? The girl that got the under eye surgery that followed you.
Lucky.
Lucky was another one that tried to
Lucky
get on.
hustler,
And
yep.
Daisy was another one that tried to audition.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow. I forgot about Daisy.
Yeah.
That's true.
And they never got on. So I
No.
find it interesting now, right? And this all goes back to the same thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like it was not only petty, but also Lemmy kind of just showing his power card.
That's it. A power trip, right? So
Mhm.
speaking of him, he then obviously immediately took to Instagram and social media and posted on his story, basically denying all of these claims. And he goes and he says, "No, I have not abused or harmed Scotty or Janisha. No, I do not have ties to any mob or religious group in Israel or anywhere else. My father is a Detroit pastor and Christian TV broadcaster, a bishop in Kojic, which is a Church of God in Christ, a historic Black church denomination under Bishop J. Drew Shirts leadership.
Really
Kojic has many jurisdictions, and my father works within that structure. No, I do not traffic girls. No dead body was ever outside or near Zeus headquarters. No, neither I nor Zeus have ever been involved in murder, putting a hit on anyone, or homicide to any degree ever. Do not believe those lies and theories. No, I'm not Diddy Jr., I'm me. And the narrative that everyone is saying, everyone being in quotation marks, these things is simply not true. It's the same 5 or so disgruntled people, including Joseline, out of the hundreds who have worked with Zeus, the vast majority of whom actually care about me and have never said anything negative. These same few people got upset in a moment, said things, then came back around to work with me in the company. Let's be for real. If anything, I've been too generous, patient, and forgiving of that behavior and still allowed them to work with me.
And he goes on for he has 5 posts.
He has so many posts. Another post he said was, I will not negotiate with terrorists and I will not be extorted or bullied.
Yeah, so we'll have a screenshot of all 5 of them. He went on a tangent and to address it immediately on his story, but then he also went on live. And
I did not catch that live.
Oh yeah, here. So we'll play a little clip of it.
Damn, yo, he was really outside defending his name.
He was reading from the script.
Oh God, okay.
So I'm not here to attack her or add any stress or unnecessary stress. But at the same time, I'm not going to allow false narratives or allegations to be made about me or the company without addressing them. And that's why I'm really speaking on this today. To be clear, we've paid Joseline very well over the years. This is not about what we've paid her. This is about payments moving forward, and fulfilling agreed upon obligations. And that's, to me, equally clear. This is not about a picture with another network owner, which I've seen some people post. It's not about that. It's about pretty much the broader contractual framework she agreed to, including exclusivity, restrictions around direct or indirect competition, and performance-based obligations such as participation and promotion. More recently, it also involves honoring key provisions in her agreement, including non-disparaging, confidentiality, and refraining from making false and defamatory statements, both personally and professionally, regarding Zeus, his executives, me, the team. These are just very standard, clearly defined terms that we agreed on by both parties, and we expect them to be respected just as we uphold on our end. These specific provisions in her agreement that have been breached, we've made an effort to address this privately, respectfully, calmly, in good faith, and we're still willing to do so. That includes multiple attempts to communicate directly, find a resolution without bringing it into the public. Joseline is entertaining. We get it. She's brought value to the platform. We respect that. And we genuinely thought we were beyond this. But at the end of the day, this is business. When you agree to terms, especially around exclusivity, conduct, and professional obligations, you're expected to honor, them, just like you would expect us to honor our commitments. That's all we're asking for: accountability, respect, and what we agreed to.
Okay, so it doesn't look like he's reading from a script there.
The whole thing there goes on, and in part of it, he was definitely reading from the script. But I wanted to address this because this goes back to the same thing, right? Because I know that to the first clip that Joseline has said, I find it weird that he did pick right now to do it when she's been promoting her network for a while now. It's been how many months? Right? She's promoted the cooking show. She's promoted Dancing Freaks, Miami Girls, and even her own interviews where she opens up about her story and about her sobriety. And all of that is exclusive to her network. So I can understand, as a woman, she's been in the move, been doing this, been told Lemmy about all of this. And now he chooses to kind of address it or find the loophole after taking that photo with that collaboration with Now That's TV CEO. That's what triggered, quote unquote, triggered this whole thing.
Okay, so this is where I'm confused, right? How do we know that they had a conversation about this? How do we know
We
that
don't
Joseline?
know.
Exactly. So that's the part that's missing. We don't know if Joseline had a conversation with Lemmy about actually starting her network. Yeah, he could have seen things online, but again, we don't know in terms of the BTS, the behind the scenes aspects of what happened. But, this is a good question to raise. Like, why is he now doing this? I don't know if maybe because he saw how she was getting traction, especially after the Amber Rose thing where she commented on Amber Rose and it went viral and all the blogs took it up. And then they started going to her network and then she posted more things and started getting more recognition because he claims, this is what Lemmy says, is that all of this started over a text. So this is the text. He took screenshots of the text message and put it on his story. And this is what he said to Joseline. And he said on his story, this was simply me reminding her of the agreement. So the first text is, "Hi, Joseline. I saw the Now That's TV post."
That's what I'm saying. That's what started it.
Okay, that's right there. That's a big component. So he hits her up and says, "Hey, Joseline, I saw the Now That's TV post. You're still within the exclusivity period and you remain tied to the franchise through your ongoing involvement and participation, which makes any engagement with a competing platform a direct conflict and may place you in breach of your agreement. We're evaluating next steps with the Joseline's Cabaret series, including the next season and potential spinoffs, and may move forward in the coming months with or without on-screen participation. Just to be clear, this type of conflict could affect your monthly participation payments, which have recently been around," and he X's out the amount. She doesn't answer. He follows up again. He says, "Hi, Joseline. We have become aware of your involvement in Get Money Girls on a newly launched subscription-based streaming platform, which it appears you own and operate. That directly competes with Zeus. Your agreement expressly prohibits any appearance or participation on competing platforms, and as such, this constitutes a material breach of your exclusivity obligations. I felt we had a meaningful and constructive conversation the other day with myself, Ballistic, LJ, and Jason, and to be clear, this is not being approached in a malicious or adversarial, oh my God. This is not being approached in a malicious or adversarial manner. However, the contractual implications must be addressed directly. For clarity, your current monthly revenue share is approximately, all of that is X'd out, totaling approximately which will be impacted. Accordingly, Zeus will be suspending all monthly revenue share payments."
I can't stand the ChatGPT. I really can't. I can't. After realizing and seeing on the show how much he uses it, I can tell now for a fact that is exactly why he sounds with all these fancy words. It's because it's always been ChatGPT. Fucking irritating, because now you tripping up on words and you can read.
I know.
Better than me.
I was like, that one word tripped me out.
Got you
I was
fucked
like,
up.
adversarial? I've never heard that word before.
Yeah, but exactly, which I find funny that, the original text message addresses that he saw the post from Now That's TV, but then when the CEO of Now That's TV said, "My bad, bro, this was never supposed to be anything serious. Like, I'm just trying to support." He says, "Oh, this wasn't about that," which I have right here. There's a back and forth where the guy who owns Now That's TV says, "Now That's TV post was harmless. All me and my team did was just go and show support. Nothing more, nothing less, ... Lemmy wrote back in return, "I understand, bro. That initial text about the video pic was simply a reminder of our exclusivity agreement, especially with things circulating online. The breach issue was separate from that." How? When you mentioned it in the first text message, but okay. The guy wrote, "Cool, understandable. I hope you and Joseline can work it out and stay off the internet with everything we already get enough against us." Even the guy from Now That's TV was saying that, but like Joseline brought it onto the internet, right? So,
Right.
But go ahead.
So let's really get into the nitty gritty now. So this is what we do know. Clearly, the text message was triggered by the Now That's TV post,
right?
Based off of what he said in the first sentence. Okay, so it wasn't even an issue with her starting her own network.
But that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
From the beginning, based off of what we have and what we know, it doesn't seem like that was the issue, like you said.
Which is what I find weird, because then he's like, "Oh, we've just been," after the second text message,
Right.
he said, "We've just been informed that you're part of Miami Girls," which
But
is
you've been knew about that.
But
Right.
that's why I find interesting, and I feel like it's again him strategically.
What is the beef with Now That's TV, bro?
I just
what is the
competitors.
beef? Right. And that's fine in terms
It's
of
business.
Right, exactly. That's an interesting thing to note. So now this whole situation is just really insane because, not only is Lemmy defending himself, but now everyone else takes to the internet to defend him too, as if everyone got the same mass text message.
Yeah.
So you got Scotty, you got Janisha, you got Biggie. You got this other girl that I don't even know called Gorgeous Doll, which we're going to get into because when she dropped her 10-minute video, we're not going to play it here, but she claims that she wasn't even going to get on the internet and say anything. And this used to be a friend of Joseline Hernandez. And she is simply a fashion influencer, okay? She claims that because Joseline's lawyer sent her a cease and desist letter, then she was like, oh, okay, so we're going to play ball. And she went on the internet and basically said that Joseline's faking her pregnancy and she's doing all of this just to push her show and her network.
Yeah, because apparently there was another thing speculating that Lemmy was trying to get, you know how he has Scotty with the baby?
Right.
It would have been a Zeus Network idea to get the behind the scenes of Joseline being pregnant and having her own spinoff show with like family oriented stuff with Ballistic. But of course, there's rumors that she's already doing that on her own network.
Right.
And so, going back to the thing where you said, I mean, I don't know. You think Joseline's faking her pregnancy?
I don't think Joseline's
That's
faking
fucking wild.
her pregnancy. That's a crazy thing to say. However,
That's a crazy thing to do.
This woman, Gorgeous Doll, went on the internet and said that because when they hung out back in March, she was drinking. So let me play the video, okay? And then you can tell me your thoughts on this. I think that with this video, people should listen to it and take it with a grain of salt. Still take it into account, but don't take everything to heart. Like, I feel like I have it.
Is the full 10 minutes?
No, it's only 3 minutes.
Oh,
I'm I can't play the full 10 minutes. But, that she dropped a lot of bombs in this shit.
I didn't see this one.
So let's play it here.
Okay, so mini breakdown what happened between Zeus and Joseline today, okay? But I'm going to give you a breakdown, then I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? So long story short, Joseline decided, because Zeus wouldn't do her shows, allegedly, she decided that she was going to open her own streaming platform. But that would violate the non-compete that's in her contract. So therefore, what she decided to do was continue on with her streaming platform and do a show with a bunch of women. Okay, cool. You already know I have my reservations about it. I would not be online right now telling y'all this if she didn't send her lawyer to email me to fucking threaten me with a cease and desist from information that's not privileged. Anything that I've ever said online about Joseline was before an NDA. It wasn't privileged, okay? But at the end of the day, what the fuck does Lemmy look like paying you to compete against him? And when y'all saw her post, oh, you told my husband that you wouldn't support R, Zeus isn't supporting R, yeah, because what the fuck does Lemmy look like paying you to compete against him? Because what really allegedly is happening is that you're taking your checks from Zeus and using them to fund your network. Anybody that's in show business or business period, why the fuck would they pay their op or their competition to go against them, right? So therefore, Lemmy was able to freeze funds. That peppertunity, that word means that all the money that you're owed is frozen and you don't know when the fuck it'll come, if it ever will, right? So at the end of the day, what you're doing now is you're trying to come online and garnish all this support. But what I don't like about it is that when you come on and you say, Lemmy did A, B, C, and D, Zeus has been doing A, B, C, and D. Well, for the last 7 years, you knew they was doing that shit. But now because it's not working in your favor, you want to be, save the victims.
Period.
Save the victims. No, I hate when people sit here and they let shit happen 24/7 and don't say shit about it until it don't benefit them no more. You don't get to do that. Because at the end of the day, if we was talking a RICO case, and it's just an example, y'all, it's just an example. It holds no weight. If anything motherfucking happened to Zeus and Zeus got taken down for anything, guess what? You were one of the main shows on there. You had a lot of girls on there.
Yeah.
You're just as wrong as him and whatever the fuck you're accusing him of doing. But at the end of the day, because it's not working in your favor, now it's at the FBI. This is a mini Diddy. No. And that's what a lot of y'all do not understand. Now, for me, I have been hanging around Joseline for the last 4 or 5 months. The only reason I'm making this video right now is because when shit didn't work out and I didn't want to sign them contracts, bitches start motherfucking being weird and sending threats. But bitches start motherfucking acting weird and sending threats. And you had your lawyer email me talking about a cease and desist and going to court and all this other shit on information that's not privileged. Anything that I've ever said about you, babe, was outside of when I signed that NDA for that contract. But at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, do it. Because at the end of the day, I know one thing. I know the laws and you don't. Just how you posted that trademark. Oh, you own Joseline's Cabaret. You own da-da-da. Yeah, but you don't own the rights to that series. That's what's gonna get you fucked up.
So that video, there was a lot to unpack there, and I had to cut that short because it's a 10-minute video and it actually goes on further to where she talks about how Joseline faked her pregnancy just to push promotion for her TV network.
Yeah.
And, you know, she even mentions how she started with Amber, you know, started with other influential people to kind of like push that promotion, which it worked. And then she mentioned faking pregnancy because when she was with her in March, she was drinking and she was constantly drinking. So I don't know. Y'all gonna have to watch the rest of that video on your own. But what do you have to say about that? That was a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I think that, you know, she makes a good point, though, that, you know, Joseline has been, you know, funneling the money that she gets from Zeus Network into it. How do you think it started? How do you think she was able to fund all of that, right? Like, how do you think she's able to afford the lifestyle she has? Because basically a lot of it is funded by Zeus, which in a business aspect of things, I understand Lemmy. And I hate to be devil's advocate here because at the end of the day, there's so many different components to this conversation. And one of the components is we look at Lemmy, and I'm going to go for both angles here. Okay. So first we're going to look at Lemmy. Lemmy, as an owner, as a business owner, you're going to do things that benefit your business and your longevity, right? You're going to want to keep expanding and growing. You see one of your talents going off and starting their own streaming, and they didn't do their due diligence into like strategically, I don't know, finding the loopholes within themselves to get out of it or to like abide by her contract. You're going to be like, you know, he is basically the Diddy of streaming platforms. Like it paved the way for all these other artists to think that they can open up their own networks. Let's be real, right? Stunner Girl tried it. It didn't work. Now That's TV is another form of it. And you know, before Zeus, there wasn't much. It was the big platforms like Netflix, Hulu. So like Lemmy really paved that way, and we have to give him that sort of credit despite the type of person he is and the rumors that you've heard. Now, also from Lemmy's perspective, think about it like this. You're dealing with a bunch of people who are problematic. And this is the time and time again, not to say Lemmy is not problematic himself. I'm just trying to put things into perspective here. Now, you have Lemmy, who is constantly dealing with people who are problematic, and Joseline has a reputation of bullying and throwing a temper tantrum when things don't go her way. And this is time and time again. We've seen it over and over. She will go to ends meet, and if she doesn't get her way, she'll fucking go and do anything, tumble everything to the ground just to try to bully her way to get what she wants. And I can understand Lemmy's frustration in that, right? Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you know, I get that. But also when you look at it from Joseline's perspective, it's interesting too, because Joseline made Lemmy as far as like giving him a steady foundation for a platform, right? Like she came from VH1, and we all know what happened with her and Stevie, right? She was trying time and time again to escape VH1, which is why she went to Zeus from the beginning, because Love and Hip Hop was making a lot of money off of her, and she wasn't collecting any of it. So I can see as Joseline being a woman in the industry, constantly being the underdog and being under powerful men, control over powerful men, being triggered as a pregnant woman being triggered at this very moment by Lemmy's actions, because she even said it. You know, everybody's making money off of me. When I try to do my own thing, you know, you guys try to take it from me. That tells me she's triggered by her past with Stevie, VH1, and now Lemmy. And it's like, it's true. It's true, Joseline. You have been taken advantage of. And the reality of it is, if you want to create your own, you're going to have to take that risk. You're going to have to abide by the contractual agreements, or you're gonna destroy it and get and risk, like any normal person who does the 9 to 5 risks their steady, comfortable payment to start their business. And that is the reality of having and paving your own path. That is the reality of it. And I feel like her throwing a temper tantrum is kind of like, while she's in her $1 million home, it's like, girl, you can't bake the cake, have it, and eat it, and then have his too. Like, you can't do that. It sounds silly. It sounds like, you know, a little entitled.
Yeah. So, you know, you make such great points, because you're right. There are so many different components to it, right? Because there is the business component to it, right? Which is also the violation of the contract and the non-compete, right? But then also there's an emotional component to it too, of Joseline being triggered by Stevie, which is a crazy thing to even think about, because her even posting in her car could have been a trauma response in itself, right? Because the abuse and neglect and just the bullshit that she went through with Stevie to finally get out of that and finally get her own thing. And now that she's trying to do better for herself, here comes Lemmy coming in talking about, well, this violates a contract. However, it also ties into another important component where you stood by while all of those allegations were happening. So now it's like, what does that say about you? So it's so hard to even have this conversation, because I just feel like there's no one innocent here in this conversation.
Not at all.
Lemmy's not innocent. No one's innocent. Anyone that's around Lemmy's not innocent. Joseline's not innocent. Like, you know what I mean? And then to make things worse, I know it's hard to believe Joseline, right? Because look who she is. She's even stopped a lot of her girls from being on a lot of other shows too. She tried to fuck with their bag too.
Yes.
She tried to control and manipulate them too, the same way Stevie did to her.
Yes.
So now it's like, okay, let's really get into it. Is Joseline really the right person to be talking about this? Not really, but I feel like her claims are still valid. But again, I can still see the nuance in it, right? However, you know, when you look at things like all of the people that have already come out about these allegations on Lemmy already, it just makes it even harder, because she's not the first to say this.
Right.
As much as Janisha, Biggie, all these people want to come on the internet and save face, it's like, come on now. You know, Janisha, let's get into this though.
We already know that they came out because they're protecting their bag at the end of the day.
Duh. They're doing that to protect their opportunities and income.
Also, you make a valid point, right? Like, Joseline is not only stood by Lemmy and the Zeus Network all these years, but is on camera for many years abusing the girls. Yep. Verbally, physically.
Degrading them.
Yeah. And even Drea, she came out and said, like, everything Lemmy, she accused Lemmy of, she did it too.
Yeah.
Hitting.
Yeah.
Caught on camera doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hitting girls with throwing stuff, like girls doing that.
Yeah.
Grooming.
There's a double standard because she's a woman.
Look at what Drea said. Remember when Drea tried to go to college and she completely degraded her?
Never forget that. Yes.
Look, this is a clip of Drea saying this.
You want me to do that, and you're grooming me essentially to take on this position. I'm doing everything that you're asking of me, and it's still not enough. Then what the fuck do I need to be here for? Just give it to the next bitch. Do it. If you think she's gonna do it, give it to the bitch, because I don't need to be here. I could go home to my kid for all that. You understand? I could go back to school for all that. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I was making way more as a stripper in the club than I was at Zeus, and still to this day. Damn. And I'll double down. I was making 6 figures as a stripper, and I never touched that at Zeus. Yeah. And I'll make that very clear. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's just one of the girls. You know, Rose also came out and said something on that, which we'll get into later, because I know you want to show the Janisha clip, so we'll see that. But like, this goes back to the same thing again. It's like, yes, Joseline is not wrong. We've heard these allegations before, but you think you're eating by by saying all these things like, oh, class action lawsuit, hashtag FBI. It's like, girl, you know, if there's a case, like if, let's just say, going back to the RICO thing, you're a part of that.
Right. No, it's true. It's true. And, you know, it really is a shame because the shit that you're complaining about, you literally have done that to those girls on your platform.
Right.
You know, all of these women have complained about you. Raven, you did Raven dirty. You did Raven dirty. I don't give a fuck if you're on a coke binge or not. You did Raven fucking dirty.
Right.
Lucky you did her dirty. Drea, oh my God. I feel like Drea was her dog.
Abused.
Her pet. Like, for real. Like, you know, and it's really just, there's a lot of nuance here. Like, it's just crazy. Because now you're going through this, and obviously it's a different level from what you're going through, but you put the girls on your show in the same thing. And for Drea to say that she wasn't even making 6 figures on Zeus, knowing that the other baddies have made more than that, that just tells you how Joseline runs her ship.
Yep.
How she wants to keep you at a certain level. You're not supposed to be more than where you are. And now you're complaining about
that
how
same
doing
thing.
the same shit to you.
Yes.
How you don't want me to run my own stuff, have ownership.
And let's be real, I can't with her saying little old me.
Bro, when she said that.
Bitch, did she be throwing all the clips of Joseline fucking manhandling bitches? Throwing bitches to the floor?
Little old me, you are an Amazon.
Right. Little old me is crazy.
Little old me is wild.
Drea is a little old me.
Right.
Danny is a little old me.
Danny is a little old me for real.
That big ass bitch talk about little old me and points to her belly is crazy.
Big
It's
ass
so
bitch.
It's so out of touch.
Yeah, no.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it, and I'm not discrediting Joseline, but like, because I know what it's like I can see the triggers. Like I said, I empathize, but like, girl, little old me, after all the things you've done, you don't think this is a little bit of like, kind of like the bed you've set up for yourself? Like, you know?
Yeah. And it's crazy, but like going back to the people that came for Lemmy's defense, Janisha posted on Twitter and she was like, I'm an extremely private in all caps person, and I don't share my personal life with others. So anyone speaking on me or making claims about my life is not speaking from any real truth or direct conversation with me. Please don't put narratives on my name. So for me, when I saw Janisha speak out,
she never speaks out.
She never speaks out. So to me, that was crazy. I was like, what mass text did he send for you to speak out?
She never speaks out.
You know how much people drag her name in the media constantly and she never says anything? But it was that.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder, is it true?
You know what I do wonder? That body. That body, I feel like it was like a moment that passed by because everyone's stuck on the abuse. But like,
I did not roll over that.
But like, some people are speculating that was Pee-wee, but Pee-wee was like killed. He was found, he was missing, and then it wasn't in the same state. I think it was in a different state. But it makes me wonder, right? Did Pee-wee get found at the Zeus Network headquarters and they kind of moved his body for saving the business purposes? Like, because it wasn't too long after the auditions that he had gone to where all of a sudden he went missing and then he showed up stabbed to death. You know what I mean? So
That's
it makes
crazy.
It gives me that gives me weird vibes. And him telling me, oh, you know, nobody died. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
These people are powerful.
But also, like, even look at Scotty with the baby, right? Them showing the guy that fell out the window, blood everywhere on the floor. Why are you showing that?
Right.
So now it's like, if that happened during filming
on camera,
who the fuck knows what happens off camera when y'all not filming? Like,
exactly. And why on earth would they? You know, I can see them saying, yo, bring that body somewhere else and, you know, have them find it there. You know, I can see that. He has goons.
Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to touch on, right, is how people, just like how Lemmy wrote, right, how, you know, these women, these whoever, the people that always talk shit, but then they come back and work with him, right? It's so interesting because we see that time and time again with Jayla. We see that
Stunner Girl.
with Stunner Girl. We see
Krishan.
that with Krishan. We see that with Natalie, even, right? And I just think it's interesting. Hi, My Name's T is really the only person that was like, I'm not working with them, and she left.
Yeah.
As well as Scotty's ex-stylist, Darian Christopher, where he came out and said, Lemmy abused her dog and abuses her, and even has like posted pictures on his story where there's a bruise on her leg, talking about wonder where she got that. Like, you know, exposing all of these things. To me, one of the things that I also wanted to point out too, the people that say, oh, we don't fuck with him and then we go back, Jayla, they always mention a specific producer. They mentioned this name, Ashley Washington, a lot, right? Have you heard them mention her a lot? So Tommy's mentioned her, Joseline's mentioned her, Jayla's mentioned her, saying that she's this and she's that and all of the bad things under the sun. So my question for you, do you think that Ashley is actually an evil person, or do you think she's doing her job?
I think she's doing her job.
Agreed.
Girl. I feel like at the end of the day, those people, they're getting paid just like everyone else. And I feel like even Akbar addressed it. Let's talk about what Akbar said, because she went online and said, let's be clear. Everyone wants to go to Zeus because they pay the bag, but the amount of things that happen and the amount of therapy you need afterwards, nobody talks about that.
No.
You're going to need therapy afterwards. I promise you that. But when he calls and offers that large amount, it'd be hard to turn it down when the economy is fucked up the way it is. That's why us people who say they not coming back always come back.
Yeah.
And that is clear. Like
high risk, high reward.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see it, like, I don't know why people are so shocked when we literally just saw 50 Cent's documentary of Diddy. Like, it's blatant in your face. Like, money and power will let you get away with a lot. And people will come back and continue to feed that entity, because at the end of the day, it's that or back to the hood, you know? And, you know, I mean, really, truly, that's really what it is. And so I don't know, like, I feel like they could throw these producers at the end of the day all about, like, I'm sure there's bad people in production, but at the end of the day, it's the company model.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And I want to touch back on people coming out, because Joseline, Joseline's girl, Rose, you remember Rose? She came out and basically spoke on her opinion about what Joseline and the whole Lemmy thing. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. Jesus, everybody said something. Sorry, can you start over?
Okay, first off, I want to start this video off by saying all of this is alleged, so I don't get sued or nothing. But first and foremost, everything that Joseline is accusing Lemmy of, she's guilty of as well. Because one, you're saying like, oh, all of the abuse and this and that and the third. I never witnessed him abusing anybody. But you know what you did? You did, in fact, attack me. You did, in fact, smack the fuck out of Drea. You did, in fact, pimp girls out to Lemmy, or try to allegedly pimp girls out to Lemmy. So now all of a sudden it's, oh, and you're cheating on Scotty and you're doing, but you're whispering in our ears, oh, go fuck him. Go do this and that and the third, allegedly. So that way we can get the 50K at the end of the show, or the 25K at the end of the show. Now, have y'all noticed that the 50K that was supposed to go to one girl during season 5 went to 4 bitches? It went to 4 bitches when it was only supposed to be meant for one person. Now, 2 out of the 4 of those people, I know for sure fucked Lemmy. Well, from their own mouth, allegedly. I'm not gonna say they actually did it, but I'm gonna say that they said that they did it. Now, another thing on top of that, I don't work for Zeus anymore, and I don't work for Joseline, so I can say whatever the fuck I want to say.
Period.
You're weird as fuck for throwing your friend Janisha under the bus when you knew damn well that Janisha is not even that type of female to let no shit like that happen to her. And then on top of that, Scotty is pregnant. And Scotty loves Lemmy. And Lemmy loves Scotty. And we all fucking know this. And now for you to sit up there and they have a family and she just had a baby and you're pregnant right now and you're putting her through this extra amount of stress, That's also weird. So, all because you're not getting your way.
Jesus.
But it's okay because I am going to tell y'all the truth about Joseline and the shit that she has put us through on the tour, allegedly, with the drinking, the drugs, the fighting, and how she barely even paid us. So, yeah, tap in for that later, coming up soon. But I just wanted to go ahead and clear the air on a couple of things on this video.
That is fucking wild. Nah, that is tea.
Yeah, it's
that
some
shit
tea.
is fucking crazy.
Mhm.
She said, "Go fuck him," whispering in our ears.
Yeah,
What?
I can see that.
I could too.
I
But
could-
geez, like she really dropped some tea.
And she makes a good point, right? You coming out, talking about
Sheesh.
all this while Scotty just had a baby. But it's like, I love how Joseline's like so shocked that Lemmy's coming for her while she's pregnant. When did you not see what he put that woman through while she was pregnant?
Right.
It is not out of character for him to bother you while you're
Right.
emotional. Even he
Right.
addressed it in that live. He said, he mentioned her being emotional because she's pregnant, and I get it because of hormones, and I've gone through similar things with mentioning Scotty.
Right.
He knows what he's doing.
Right,
Like, it's
right.
not to say poor little old me is not gonna fucking change the fact.
Right.
Look at Scotty. He don't give a fuck about no bitches. All right. He only care about that white carpet that dog was on.
Yo,
You seen that?
I did see it. I did.
Care more about that than the women that are pregnant.
Oh my God. But no, going back to that video though,
Yes.
she made a great point. She knows Scotty's pregnant. She's also pregnant too. And she's kind of doing the same thing, adding extra stress. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, wow, like, is this like a human experience or something where it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, everyone's human. So she don't give a fuck about Scotty being pregnant because she's thinking about herself, right? That's that human shit, like the selfishness, the inconsiderate shit. Like you're thinking about self and what you're going through. So you're not thinking about what you put the cabaret girls through. You're not thinking about all the other times you stood by when that was happening at Zeus. You're not thinking about Scotty. You're not thinking about Janita. You're not thinking about nobody. You're not thinking about how you did Raven dirty.
Yeah.
She did Raven dirty.
Now, who did she
times.
mush to the floor?
That was Raven.
That
She
was
grabbed
Raven?
her by
Oh,
the neck
yeah,
and,
that was-
and then she still embarrassed her even at the reunion, like even after
foot.
season. Yes, had her sucking her toes. Like, bitch, bye.
She had her fucking
Bitch, bye. Like you really you've done the same shit because you are also obsessed with power and control, right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. So
Deep.
like it is deep, and this is why I'm so happy we brought this to the petty headquarters because
yes.
we really had to really deep dive into this because it's more than just, it's easy to just be like, okay, yeah, everyone says about Lemmy. We get it. We say it too. But it's coming from Joseline.
Right. Like her going to talking about, but I think it's like, it's got to be serious because going to the police.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Nobody does that for no reason.
Nobody does that for no reason.
First of all, where Joseline's from,
Nobody's
and like,
going to the police.
no one's going to the police just like that one. Two, have y'all ever tried to file a police report? It is not fun. Like,
No.
it's a lot. It's annoying. And then nobody wants to do that. So for somebody to go out their way to do that, there was clearly a threat.
And this is why I say, like, this needed to be discussed. Like, we can't just pick a side here. Like, I feel like there is no picking sides with this conversation. This needs to be thoroughly discussed because, again, there's the business component, and then there's the emotional component, and then there's the other allegations that have come up multiple times. And there's the allegations against Joseline.
Yes.
So it is just a shit show. This whole thing is a shit show. My God. I don't
It's
even
got
know.
you reflecting
I don't
over
even
there.
know. Because I'm like, ugh, what else is there to say at this point? Like, why speak now? I guess clearly we know the answer. Her money is frozen. Her money's getting fucked with, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Literally
That's
it.
literally it.
And I think that in reality, I find it hard to I'm just so torn because as coming from a woman who supports other women in media, I understand it. I get the frustration.
Yeah.
I get that you're trying to leave, and of course they're gonna find a fucking contract loophole to get you out of making money. Duh, that's just how life works. That's how the industry works, right? And then you look at it from like, look at the difference between how Natalie plays the game and Joseline plays the game, right? Women in media, unfortunately, that's how you have to play the game. Natalie knows better. I'm going to keep my friendship with Lemmy. I'm going to keep the Baddies franchise, but I'm going to also deviate and have Baddies records or whatever, Baddies, whatever. And, you know, you could see
even
them.
him being petty started Zeus music right after she did Baddie Records.
Right. But you see how Natalie still stays in cahoots with him because she knows.
Yeah.
She knows who she's dealing with. And I feel like, you know, Joseline, if you wanted to make that jump, I think that is a normal, ambitious goal as a woman, as someone who wants to be free from the contracts. However, there is risk in that. And I feel like she wants to be cushioned while also taking that risk. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a reality that anyone faces. And to me, how I see it is Zeus Network is her 9 to 5. Right? That's where she has that steady, comfortable income that she has and is guaranteed all the time. Once that's taken away, which is a normal civilian's fucking any entrepreneur is going to tell you they quit their job, they took the risk, and they gave everything to their business. Most of the time, that's how it works. So when she cries about the money and the purpose, like, girl, like, that's what comes with the territory. And like, unfortunately,
she probably got mad debt, yo. Probably got mad bills to pay. When you make it a certain amount of money, it becomes higher. The bills get higher. So when you don't have that money coming in, I'm pretty sure, regardless of what you're making, what your salary is, whether you're a millionaire or not, it's still something where it's like, shit, I need that money.
And it's scary. It's scary.
And the economy's trashy for everyone right now.
But it's
everyone.
Like, how many people do you see every day trying to start their businesses, have barely any income? How many artists do you see waitressing in the fucking, you know, in the restaurants, trying to get their big shot in the industry, broke as shit? Like, it's a normal artist thing. And I feel like Joseline's been cozy for a long time with the Zeus and didn't think about the contract, didn't run it by her lawyers. I don't know. I don't understand.
There's no way she didn't run it by her lawyers.
But how do you do that then? Like, how does that go missed? It's a very obvious thing. It's the first thing I thought about. And I didn't even know shit about contract. I was just like, that business 101. Why would I fund somebody who will be a competitor? That's weird.
Right.
So, like, you know, I don't know how I was confused how that was going to work, period. But clearly it wasn't working.
I don't know. And then that's the thing. I thought again, we don't know if she ran this by her lawyers or not. I thought she did, because if she would have clearly have seen that there is a non-compete, you know, breach or, you know, that clause there in the contract. So for me, I'm just a little confused. I'm a little confused about that too.
Right.
I'm also confused that this didn't trigger anything until he saw her post with Now That's TV CEO.
Right.
So now it's like, okay, is this really about her network or Now That's TV? So now I want to know, what is it? Because now you're saying two things. You're saying now she's becoming a competitor with her network, but you're also saying that she is participating with your competitor, which is Now That's TV.
It's power.
But it's like, that's the thing. He's, for me, and this is a weird way of thinking, it's either one and the other, even though it's both. That's the thing that's weird. What triggered this is a Now That's TV thing.
Think about it like this. When you really conceptualize it, since we need to compartmentalize it as, let's literally label it so people can see it mirror. He is the Diddy of streaming platforms. I'm not joking. What did Diddy do? He gatekept Death Row Records, right? That was his thing. I don't fucking remember. Whatever. I think it was Death Row. He was like everybody. It was
Death Row. It was Bad Boy.
Oh, Bad Boy. Death Row was the other guy from the West Coast. Whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I'm not, it's not me.
You know what I'm trying to say? Death Row. That don't sound right.
No, that was his main competitor. So Death Row is Now That's TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the two competitors in the Black community of streaming platforms, right? Like, what other network is there? Right? So now you have those two big boys. Of course. And now that's like fucking saying Biggie, if Biggie was still alive trying to go to Death Row Records. That's weird, right?
So wait, how does it work now when Now That's TV girls go to Zeus, but also go back to Now That's TV?
I don't know.
Because there's no issue with that. When
there's no
Ivory
contract. It's got to
wasn't-
be in their contract. And also,
But that's
after that whole situation, Lemmy posted on his story, to be petty, collaboration with Now That's TV, question mark.
Oh my
So now there's,
God.
yes.
So it's not even about Now That's
No,
TV.
it's about power.
And control.
It's about being the top dog and
Right.
making sure that your competitors know you are still the gatekeeper of the streaming platforms, period. That's it. That's all it is. And that's why I said we have to conceptualize it as him being Diddy, because we've seen what happened with Diddy and how he did it already. Like, it's the same thing. It's not about this person, that person. No, it's about, hey, I got to keep my ducks in line because I'm going here and you got to stay here for me to be here. That's it.
Yeah. Overall, this whole shit is a fucking shit show. I know I've been saying it, but this conversation is really deep. Like, there's so many levels to it. And honestly, regardless if it was Joseline or someone else, it would have probably been the same outcome. Nobody would have cared. Lemmy would have gotten online to defend himself. The same thing would have happened. But now I have another question that I want to ask you just before we end this shit. Do you think Lemmy is really behind any type of alleged attempted murder?
Yeah.
You think so, for real? You
Yeah.
believe that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I cannot call him Diddy Jr. and genuinely believe that without thinking that he's capable of doing something like that.
Okay.
Nobody is going to do a police report without feeling a genuine threat. Like, nobody does that. That's so weird. And that's a little dramatic. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. And it's not the first time. So, you know, what's her name? The plumber? Aaron the plumber.
Yep, Aaron Plummer.
Is also
Aaron
another
the
one
Plumber.
that said that. And Pee-wee died. Like,
That's true.
It's not far-fetched. You know what I mean? So I do. What about you?
I don't know. That's why I asked you, because I'm just like, I'm wondering is that part far-fetched and he's just a fucking whore that sleeps around with his bitches? Like, that part we know. But what if it's just that and it's like he's not a fucking murderer?
He's
Like, I
not
don't
doing
know.
it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's obviously not doing it, but I don't know. I don't know. It makes me wonder. It's like, yeah, you're a fucking whore and you sleep around, but does that say that you're also, you know, allegedly guilty of attempted murder?
I mean, he personally isn't, but who knows what his pockets are funding. And at the end of the day, this is also the same guy that has been accused, and which we are very suspicious of him traveling to these different countries for a reason. Dubai, Brazil,
Right.
you know, all these young girls, there is rumors and have been that they take those trips to be yacht girls, to be those girls, the escorts. Natalie's been, you know, we've heard that Natalie's done it. Scotty's done it, you know? So it's like, these are all
that
alleged.
reminds me. Back to Why Are You Here TV. There is a scene on one of her shows where she's asking, one of those girls are talking about like being one of those girls in Dubai.
Mm.
And basically one of the girls was saying she would get shitted on for $1 million.
Yes, it's a
So
real
it's
thing.
like these girls really are consenting to this.
For money, yeah.
Right.
And there's like a lot of dark shit that happens out there, especially like in those rich countries like Dubai. Like, the rich men have a lot of weird fetishes and they are 100% real. And they have these weird millionaire parties that are exclusive for these girls to come in, get paid to get shitted on, to get hit, beat, have sex, and that's it. And so it's like, it's dark. And I just don't put it past like all these sponsors. Like, Joseline came out and said the people from Israel talking about, my sponsors are calling me. I believe Lemmy he went to Italy for so-and-so business talks, like international people, investors. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. You tell me, the richest of the rich investing in your company, and your company is baddies that fight. You telling me that sex isn't selling that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, allegedly, okay? But I wouldn't put it past him that he's powerful or has powerful connections. And I don't think he's just a whore. I think that because he's so puny and a pimp squeak. You could tell he was like, even Anna said it. He was a loser when he was younger. You could tell because now when look at the way he acts around women. Like you can tell he never got bitches. You could tell he don't know how to interact with women.
Right.
So now that he has money, he can. And it's like no disrespect, like, you know, but that's just, we've seen men like that time and time again.
Right.
It is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Money can't fix shit like that.
Money can't unlame you, bro.
like Nay said.
Right. But anywho, I mean, overall, that pretty much sums up all of our thoughts on this whole ordeal, y'all. Like, we really had to get the receipt for y'all. We really had to get deep because, you know, it's been a minute since we did something like this, which I'm very happy we got to do something like this. This conversation was great. It was deep. I feel like we covered so many different components, and I feel like there's still so much more to cover that we don't even know about.
And you notice that Joseline went cold silent after that, which freaks me out too, because I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they figured it out, but it's the fact that the cold silence, acting like it never happened, is always freaky to me.
Yeah.
So let us know what y'all think about everything we said down in the comments below. I know we said a lot of interesting perspectives today. Let us know the things you agree, the things you didn't think about, you know, maybe something we missed and we didn't think about, or, you know, just let us know down in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know, guys. And with that being said, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you, Tiana?
You guys can find me on Instagram at it's.tianalock. You guys can find us on Instagram at
The Petty Headquarters.
You guys can find us on YouTube and all podcast platforms at
The Petty Headquarters.
Also, we are on Patreon, so definitely tune in for that. At the Petty Headquarters.
At the Petty Headquarters.
Release episodes weekly, y'all. So yeah, I mean, I do want to say something though before we head out. Tomorrow is gonna be a crazy day. By the time you get this episode, this had already passed. So today's Monday night, tomorrow's Tuesday. We are going to be going to Natalie's concert, her tour, right, at Webster Hall in NYC for Cinco de Mayo. And I just want to get your prayers for us. That's it. Like, send us your prayers, because every time we get in the field to capture these events for y'all, it's a shit show every single time. But we always capture the footage and we always end up doing a great job and really giving you that inside scoop. So stay tuned for that coming out on the Patreon, where you get to see all of that insider behind the scenes shit, as well as a regular episode of us recapping this event.
Yes.
So now, with that being said, this was your weekly dose of mess.